Good morning. It's Monday, the 12th of January. It's about 7 a.m. I have just been looking over the outline for Echoes and Waves. Exciting stuff. But first, the question of the day. Have I done the one thing, which is shower at night, so I might write early in the morning? Well. Hear me out. Okay. It might seem like I find a new excuse every day. Yeah. Yesterday I had, as for this one class happens every Sunday, I had the deadline for a kind of homework. It's a questionnaire where I have to examine in detail a work of art, and that always takes me like 4 hours to do, or something crazy like that. Of course, I always do it last minute. Also before that, I was editing 2 videos, yesterday's and from the day before, which took me, I believe, longer than 2 hours. I kind of always estimated that it's like an hour per video of these daily videos, because I only edit very, very roughly. I think it was longer though. Yeah, I was done with the homework by midnight. I had told people that I would go shower, and yet I did not want to, and I was procrastinating it hard. Also, the other thing is that even though today I have a class at 9, specifically today, this is not like an every week, every Monday kind of thing, but apparently there's supposed to be some sort of storm. There was like an official warning of extreme storms and everything. So all of my classes have been moved to being online today. What I don't have to do is travel to the class, which gives me another like half hour, as well as more time in between the classes, because there are different places where I have the classes. But today I'm just sitting at the same desk. Here's my excuse for today. I have sat down and written. I've done about 2 40-minute sprints with Ian. I still have 2 hours to eat breakfast and shower, which is more than enough just to like get that out of the way. I'm sorry about my homework. It took so long and I was tired. So I don't know, I've been thinking today on whether the primary goal of this challenge is for me to get used to, and maybe even like, taking my showers at night. I think another aspect of me not wanting to is that this is a new shower, which sounds weird, but there's like a huge window in the bathroom with no curtains before it, and I don't know, I just don't feel super comfortable, but I will try it later. So yeah, is it about me learning this habit, which facilitates me just regularly getting up early in the morning and writing, or is it more so the thing that I believe I've been doing this whole time? I think because of this accountability that I have built in several ways, like me thinking hard and really making sure that every day I have the time to write in the morning, be it because I showered at night, or be it because I wake up extra early. I think both are kind of my goals. Yeah, maybe I'm shifting a little bit. Maybe I'm just making a bunch of excuses. I will say one thing that I'm proud of myself for, even though I went to bed very, very late. I was very rigorous because as I said, I had a lot to do yesterday. But I was very rigorous with taking breaks. I think I took like 4 or 5 breaks. Like I would do one thing, for example, finish editing one video, and then I would take a break. And then I would edit the other video and I would take another break. And it really did the thing that I knew it would, because like I think I took my first break at like 11 a.m. or something like that. So like earlier in the day, these breaks like carried me through the day at the end of the day, I wasn't like dead tired, and I still managed to do most things that I wanted to do yesterday. I will say that I'm really proud of myself for doing that. Okay, and also, this is going long, but I also wanted to give you the news how it went when today I looked over my outline for Echoes and Waves. Okay, so first of all, I was like looking for my note papers, couldn't find them, then I did find them, and then I remembered that I have 2 extended Canva whiteboard documents with a whole bunch of notes and brainstorming and everything on character, on the world, on the plot. I looked at the outline of the overall story and was like, I don't really understand what this all means. It didn't really make sense to me. But then I remembered that I had outlined in a lot of detail the whole setup for the story. Everything that happens up until the point where they're leaving, they're on the ship, and then they land where they're going, which I call Tierra Milagros. It's sort of like a Costa Rican sister thing, if you couldn't tell. So I looked at the outline for the setup, and I was impressed. And I loved my past self. And I was like, oh my god, this is good stuff. And I was so relieved. So relieved, because truly, after having like remodeled the storyline for this book so many times, changing the world building so many times, I really thought that what I had on my hands was just a mess that was like trying too hard. But I read the outline for the setup, and it's like tomorrow I can just sit down and write all of that. I don't know how many 1,000 words that's gonna be, but like I can write all of that and be in really good shape, because I really worked hard and thought hard about all of the elements, and to make all of them make sense and work together. Like for me, the setup is incredibly important, that it makes sense, even though I'm sure you can fix a lot of that in post, basically in revision. But that's like what I'm agonizing over with Sunken Timepiece, the project that I was working on all up until yesterday. I'm very much agonizing over the setup because I need it to make sense. And I feel like once the setup is in good shape, why we're doing that, what we're doing, where we're going, and what everyone's motivations are and goals and everything. Once we have everything in place there, I feel like we can just go from there, and everything else can flow from there. That's why I also like put so much work into this setup of Echoes and Waves, and I'm so happy with it, so relieved. And then I also read over the outline for the rest of the story, which truly goes from beginning till the end. It works with like the 3-act structure. It has the first plot point and the pinch point and the midpoint and the various points of like decisions and stuff. There's so many cars outside right now. That outline is a lot less meticulous and detailed. It's a lot more broad and vague still, but the overall bones work well and have a good shape. I believe there are still questions that are open, some things that I don't know yet, and that is really where I ended, where I stopped last time, because I had worked a lot on this outline, and I think I felt a little bit overwhelmed with making all of it make sense, answering all of the open questions. But today I was like, I don't think I need to do all of that before I can draft this story again. It's a completely new draft. But I think I have like a little, just a smidge of words somewhere. Some part of the setup I believe I have already drafted, but it might also have to change. So yeah, I think it is okay if I don't keep working on answering all of the questions until absolutely everything is in place and I don't have any doubts, uncertainties anymore before I draft, I think it is okay if I just write the setup and then write according to the outline and figure things out as I go. And wherever I need, I can use like prompts that can jog my mind. I can always ask people in the Discord for help. I can do brainstorming and journaling and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, you see me today with renewed hope. You see me today with new love for this story, because as I read it, I was like, this is freaking exciting. I love this. This looks like the story that would happen in a real book. Am I intimidated to start drafting? Oh, for sure, But also, the way, like this very detailed outline that I have of the setup is very reassuring, because I know everything that has to happen, and I just have to write it. And like over the past few weeks, I guess, I have developed this belief in myself that I can write good words as well. So really, what's to stop me? What is the worst thing that could happen? At the moment, nothing, I don't think. I'm really excited, and I'm incredibly relieved. Okay, this was so long. Yeah, I feel like we're at a turning point with the challenge and with this project. And now, let's draw today's prompt. I got one. Please focus. Yeah, I guess. There you go. Oh. How would my characters fare in a high-stakes card game? Good question, because I was just, as I was reading the outline, refamiliarizing me with my characters in Echoes and Waves. Let's see. We have Annika, who really wants to be let into her family's secrets. Like, they're rich, they're powerful, and her father and her two older siblings, they're all so smug about what they know, and she doesn't. And they all have gotten a procedure which affords them magical abilities, and she doesn't, and she isn't allowed to, even though that means she can't go to university. She's very ambitious. She is, I don't know, self-righteous or something. Like, she's like, no, this is my right. Don't tell me no, and I will find another way. So I think she would be very tenacious. I think she can be sneaky. I think if she thinks that the person across from her doesn't deserve the money or whatever it is about, I think she doesn't have too many scruples about going against the rules. The only thing is that I don't know that she is very good at bluffing, because she's also like kind of naive and a little bit coddled and stuff. But then again, like, she knows that this procedure for the magical ability involves a fright of death. Like, that's the only way that the procedure works. You have to be fearing for your life, and she's ready to do that, even unsupervised, without the help of her father. In some ways, she's really ready to take on risks, but she can also be selfish. So I don't know if she would be very good in a card game where you work with someone else. I think it's possible that she would take on too many risks, that she would ignore the hints of her partners, that she would be too fixated on teaching someone a lesson, and she would get in over her head and then lose. I think that's possible. We also have Hua. She is very much dedicated to her family, but at the same time, she doesn't necessarily want to take on their family business, but also that's kind of the only thing that she has. And when her family business is sabotaged and destroyed, or rather, it's not clear that it's sabotaged, but she's the one who finds it out. She is a ball of rage, okay? She is going to take revenge, but she's going to be calculated about it. Not going to give away her hand before she has to. She cannot stand people's betrayal. Yeah, I guess to be lied to. She's she's a scrappy girl because she has to be. Because her family, even though they were moderately successful with their business, they're also like having to encounter a lot of barriers and stuff as migrants, for example. And she's also very caring. She takes on a lot of responsibility for her younger brother. So how would that translate into a high stakes card game? I think she would have the perfect poker face. She would work well with her partners as long as, I don't really know anything about card games, so I'm assuming that there are partners and that they can work together or betray them, the others. As long as the partners work well with her, she is going to like let them have the wins and everything. But as soon as there's some sort of betrayal, she's going to destroy them. But she's going to do it with a perfect poker face. I think she's like in a very good position to win, to be honest. Then we have Ferhat, whom he lost his father. He got infected with a demon, which also affords him a magical ability technically, but also not really, because he doesn't have the control over the demon that like rich people who do the proper procedure do. His hand was like burned away. His mother is already dead. Did she die around the same time when he lost his hand? Like, it's not lost, but it's like skeletal. So he hides it. But also the demon gives him, like, makes it so that he can scale buildings even when they're slick with water and everything, because in this world everything is wet at all times. You will see from my 2 works in progress that I really like everything to do with water. So I have one mermaid pirate story that literally takes place in the oceans, and then this project which takes place in a world where there are constant rains and storms every night. Everything is flooded. There are canals everywhere. The oceans are huge, and we're going to cross the ocean as well. So yeah, he recently lost his father as well, so now he's all alone. He's poor. He lives in this community at the very margins of society. At his touch, like, machines break down. He's depressed. Like, he has a lot going against him, except a sort of self-destructive streak, a kind of need to find some sort of excitement to like spear through the fog of depression that he has. So my poor guy Ferhat, well, he has like these really cool physical skills, which means that I think he could like rig the card game beforehand. If he like scaled up a building, broke in, and I don't know, did something to the cards. I don't know, maybe the demon that is like in his skeletal hand could, what does it do for him again? I don't remember. He could like, it could burn a card on accident, and that could like create some sort of diversion, or leaving a mark on a card, just like a slight burn, something like that. Like, I think he could have a lot of ways of rigging the game for himself, but I think he also wouldn't make very good decisions necessarily. I think he might get lost in his thoughts. I think he might do the risky thing just because. I think he might end up not caring if the depression gets really bad. So I think it kind of depends on the day or something for him. And then last but not least, we have Ramiro, who is the older brother to a young sister who he is kind of also responsible for, and who likes to run around wild and gets herself in trouble all of the time. And he kind of runs around after her, trying to not make things difficult for his parents, who have really hard jobs and like work on ships and aren't at home a lot of the time, and are worried about their kids all of the time. Ramiro he's like the boy who will lie to you with a charming smile on his lips. You know, that kind of character. He's creative and funny and charming and a good liar. I'm not sure what else, but I think just with that, he could charm his way around the table, I think. He could distract people. He could make people think he has something in his hands that he doesn't. He could beforehand charm the best person to play with him, who maybe knows the game better than he does. He's also very loyal. I think he would be a really good partner. He's loyal, but he's also not gullible. I don't know that he necessarily would have had much of a chance to have learned the game, maybe, because like he is from Tierra Milagros. He is not from Jorgany, where I imagine that this card game is maybe taking place. So he doesn't really know the culture. Maybe he knows a card game which is similar, but not that one. And like he doesn't really at home have much time to play games or anything. Similar to Hua as well. So like on the technicalities, I think he might have some disadvantages. But boy, he will charm his way through the game and like lie his butt off. And then together, I think they could freaking win the game. Which is really the point of the story, because it's a heist story, and yeah, they're going to work together. Oh my god, guys, I know this video is incredibly long, but I am so back in love with the story. I'm so back in love with my characters. Like just now, talking through them again made them more real. I'm crying, yes, don't worry about it. Made them more real in my mind again, and I love them so much. And I love this story. I'm so excited. I'm so glad. Oh my god. Okay. Let me know how your characters would fare in a high stakes card game. I would be so curious. Let me know how your writing is going. The one thing that helps you to write more regularly, to have a better writing routine. To maybe rein it in if you're writing too much, who knows. Thank you so much for watching. Is there such a thing as like a card game, a cards emoji? If so, please leave a card emoji down below, like a symbol from a playing card or something, and go ahead and do that. So I know that you watched this long thing until the end, because you're a real one and I want to know that about you. Okay, stop rambling, Tanya. Get excited for drafting tomorrow. Okay. See you tomorrow.